Hello and welcome to Stocks TV. I welcome you to a review of the activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange for the week of 17th of September to 22nd of September 2017. We saw a dramatic change in the All-Share Index in the afternoon of Wednesday, 19th of September 2017. The All-Share Index came back strongly from a loss in the midday to a positive gain, 1.04% gain on Wednesday as a result of a gain in Dangote Cement. My name is Haruna Kebira. Here with me as usual my colleague, and we actually saw that the market at the end of the day returned a positive gain of 138 basis points, making the month today to just be a negative of 4 basis points, that is a negative of 0.04, while the quarter to date is positive 7.16%, and the year to date is also positive 32.05%. Now let's look at the gainers. Liquid Assurance top the gainers list, gained 7 kobo to close at 66 kobo, representing 11.86%. Continental Reassurance gained 14 kobo to close at 157 kobo, representing 9.79%. Guaranteed Trust Bank gained 2.60 kobo to close at 39.60 kobo, which represents 7.03%. C&I Leasing gained 8 kobo to close at 1.27 kobo, which represents 6.72%. And Skybank gained 3 kobo to close at 55 kobo, representing 5.72%. On the flip side, which is the loser side, we see Nigeria enamel wear. When I saw it, I actually wondered, but I discovered that it lost 4.64 kobo to close at 23.23 kobo, representing 16.65%. Why was that? Because of the adjustment of the script issue of 145. Cabatin Services lost 11 kobo to close at 1.9 kobo, representing 9.17%. Nemet International Pharmaceutical lost 6 kobo to close at 64 kobo, which represents 8.57%. Transcorp also lost 10 kobo to close at 1.23 kobo, which represents 7.52%. Closely followed by Qtix, which lost 20 kobo to close at 2.53 kobo, which represents 7.33%. But if you ask me, Nemet and Transcorp were actually unbeat as at on Friday. But because actually they lost during the week, they are here on the losers chart. In the news, Mr. Bright, there was a meeting by the OPEC executive on Friday to deliberate on some matter, and at the end of the day, we understand that they have extended the Nigeria they have also exclude Nigeria from the production oil cut. What do you think that will portend for this our fragile economy?
What the public might be saying is that such might lead to a decline in our revenue base. But don't forget, the rising price of oil can easily actually nail that off should there be output cut. Because if you watch,
we have been excluded. Yes, as at the time they came out of Friday, I think they have extended our excuse not to be on the oil production cut.
That is a welcome development. In other words, our revenue base will not be actually shaking, since we are still on as it were before the meeting was held. But one thing we should also know is that it is high time we moved away from this fever of OPEC. Whenever they want to hold a meeting, we feel feverish. We talk about output, we talk about price. No. Nigeria has come of age to be talking about other things that should affect its revenue base other than OPEC.
Anyway, that is for that. And Union Bank, we were notified that Union Bank can do their right 547 and 4 naira 10 kobo. And the only thing is that it has not been open yet, which was explained on Friday, while the trading in the right has still not actually commenced on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. What do you think? How do you think that will affect the price of Union Bank pre and post offer?
Pre-offer, we've seen it, and the offering period, I would say, is what we are in, and we shouldn't expect the market price to come down to 4 naira 10 kobo as a being offer for the right. Then on the post offer, yes, some investors will see that post offer you have a bloated shares outstanding, and that might lead to a situation whereby the earning per share will decline should they not improve on their bottom line considerably with what they've done to the shares outstanding by way of this right issue. So investors should also be mindful of the post-offer trading on the shares, because one, the offering now will increase the shares outstanding. Then two, the earnings that will be declared forthwith will be will decrease if there is no corresponding increase in the bottom line of Union Bank. But given its antecedents, regarding the financials and where we are going, we should not expect any robust financial reports in the post-right era, because the money will need to be deployed judiciously to improve on the functioning of the bank, and therefore improvement in the top and bottom line.
There was a rhetorical question that I was being asked, that don't you think, I'm not asking you to answer it anyway, that don't you think that after this ride the Union Bank will come back for reconstruction? But that will be left for another
discussion.
Now, even Crown Corp have actually been delisted from the daily official list of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Does it mean that the shareholders have lost it all? Do they have any way out? Is there any way out for them?
Yeah, delisting from the regular trading exchange does not mean there's no other window created for such entity to have its shares traded. We have the NASD, so it's a window for the company to have its shares listed and traded for shareholders that wish to exit or enter the company.
Okay. For regulatory purposes, I think for failing post-listing requirement and for the tussle between two brothers over Ikeja hotels for a very long time, we have not seen any of their financials. But during the week, we saw that they have released their financial for 2014 to 2016. Meanwhile, the stock is on suspension as we speak. I think what we do is that by the time we enter stock to watch, we can talk about Ikeja Hotel. Now, this week is the week for MPC meeting. The same week, the last week for the last month of the third quarter. We understand that when it's getting to the end of a quarter like this, there will be positioning for the quarterly results, and maybe there could be a bull run. What do you think? How do you think that the market will react to this information? Meanwhile, we are waiting for the MPC committee to make the announcement if there's going to be a change, and also it's the last trading day for the last month of the third quarter. How do you think the market will react to that?
On the MPC, expectations are mixed, because before now we'll be hearing from some quarters, particularly the political quarters, that the CBN should push for a rate cut to actually better the lot of the borrowing public and the investing public, I would say. But the CBN has this card to play. Let's wait for the outcome of that meeting, and by Wednesday we should be thoroughly abreast with what must have transpired in that meeting. Then on the other issue that you raised, apart from the MPC,
that is the last trading,
being the last trading week,
last month of the
last trading week for the last month and for the third quarter, yes, we should expect activities on the positive note, because some of these prices are trading far below the prices that we experienced when we saw some of their second quarter reports in this year. So you will agree with me that definitely some prices of these listed securities are actually low compared to where they started from, particularly in the first and second quarter, given their financials in those periods. For example, if you look at UBA, First Bank, Zenith, you agree with me that these banks, there is nothing they can do that will make them to report a bad financial quote.
Unexpected.
Yes, so
the market is not expecting.
We should expect a positive financials from them, and these expectations should drive the prices of these entities, as well as other listed stocks in the market. So let's look details and actually know where to put our money as the quarter draws to a close.
Don't you think that there will be positive action from portfolio managers maybe to close up?
Yes, I've said it. I said we should see positive activities from people like investors.
Institutions talk carefully.
That's what I've said also. But that notwithstanding, we should be mindful of our investment goal. No matter what the climate portends for us, don't forget your investment goal is key in actually helping you in managing the risk inherent in equity market.
Thank you for that apt and prompt analysis. Yeah, we heard from Forte Oil that their offer has been put on hold. Is there any takeaway from that?
Yes, like what we read, say they are actually restructuring to see how they can take advantage of
restructuring the offer or the company.
The company to take advantage of the emerging opportunities in the oil and gas sector, which they are already in.
Totally know that it's like the price of oil is
looking up. Yes, there's a takeaway on that note, and it's a positive one. Let's see how the market will further react, because with this suspension of this offer, definitely the share outstanding remains the same. Then expected earnings remains as expected, because there will not be further dilution of earnings if the offer not be taking place. So let's be hopeful for the best, and I want to believe also they must have seen their performance, because by now we have 3 months in a quarter, we have 2 months already. They announced that particular information just 2 weeks to the end of the quarter, so they must have seen how they are performing. So I think Fortoya is also telling us that yes, they weathered the storm, and they will actually go ahead with the corporate vision which they are actually pursuing.
Which means that even if they are going to go ahead, it may not be this year.
It might not be this year. From that, if you read in detail, if I read between the lines, that might not happen this year. Even though SEC has given an approval. Our approval is okay, that it will come up this year. I don't think it will come up this year again, and I want to believe they have alternative action. Fortoya has alternative action. For them to have taken that decision, Fortoya has alternative action, and that alternative action, from their view, must have been seen as a potent one that will drive the company forward.
Well, on that note, you have talked about what we are expecting this week, and we have talked about Fortoya and their suspension of their capital market activity.
In terms of the building of
they wanted to do. Now, this is the week. Today in a few hours next week we commence. Is there any particular stock that we can talk about that investors should watch? Because we have talked about FO, what you have said about FO, now to me, it's like you are putting it on a list of stocks to watch.
Sure.
Is there any other one that you can add to that, your list on stock to watch?
Stocks to watch, FO on the card. Then we can look at Zenith, UB, First Bank.
Based on their fundamentals.
Based on the fundamentals available to the market.
Now, if you ask me if that question I have been asked, I would have said no, Ikeja Hotel is suspended, but I believe that they have fulfilled their post-listing requirement up to end of the year 2016. What they have now is 3 quarters. If they should release their June result today, I believe that suspension could be lifted. But I may also be tempted to think that they are waiting for, because the quarter is just about 1 week away, and they are waiting for the quarter to end.
I will not
before they release that.
I will not agree to that thinking, because whatever has passed. Report it, and let's wait for the 3rd quarter.
You have a point there, but what I'm looking at is that the potential in Ikeja hotels. Because if you look at that 2016, their turnover was grown by 10.2%, while their profit before tax grew by 95%, and their profit after tax by 72%. Their earning per share from 27 kobo to 23 kobo, which was 96%, and their earning seed as we speak at the price of 173 kobo, because it may have been frozen. That is an earning yield of 30%. For me, I think Ikeja Hotel is a stock to watch, pending when the
suspension is
lifted. Yeah, you could be right that what has gone, you can to go ahead and report quarter 2. But that is your thinking. But if that thinking is just, next quarter is just a week away, why don't we just wait up and tidy up the whole thing? On that note, we are going to leave you, but we sure will come back same times next week. I wish you bullish week. From right?
I wish you bullish week too.